Okay, so it got cut off. So sine of 210 degrees is negative 1/2. So I want to know what the sine inverse of negative 1/2 is. Now, when we do a sine inverse, remember, we can only look at values from negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. So sine inverse of negative 1/2, 1/2 is going to go with a pi over 6 for 30 degrees, so pi over 6. So if it's negative, it's either going to be in the first quadrant or in the fourth quadrant technically, but going negative. So because of this domain restriction, we're going to say that this is negative pi over 6. We're not going to give it that fourth quadrant value of 11 pi over 6 because of how we write our domain. So the answer to this question is really negative pi over 6. All right, now C and D are really kind of nice because they go back to really what we did at the very beginning. And the best way to do these problems is to draw the triangle. So for C and D, we're going to draw two different triangles, and you'll see what I mean. So this is going to be C. So it's a sine of tangent inverse of 4/3. All right, remember, at the very base of what these trig definitions are, like remember your SOHCAHTOA. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So if I draw a triangle here, opposite is 4, adjacent is 3, tangent inverse of 4/3, that's where I'm getting these numbers from. And the hypotenuse in this triangle would be 5. So what this part tells us is how to draw the triangle, and then we just find the sine of the angle. So the sine of the angle, theta, would be 4/5. And that would be our answer here. So for D, similar thing. Sine inverse of 5/13. So for D, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And then the other side would be 12. It's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. So remember, this piece in here gives us the triangle, and then we actually find what the cosine of the angle is. So the cosine here would just be 12/13. So that would be my answer. You have a couple in your homework like this. Like I said, I like these two problems a lot. A and B rely on a lot of unit circle knowledge. And then once again, with your calculator questions, be sure if you're supposed to be in radian mode or degree mode, make sure you're in that. So this is Jacqueline. She's turning 1 on Wednesday. So she interrupted my last video. Say hi.